you're just going to love your next comedian, please put your hands together for Sahar Mahmood.
I'm going to start out with a little rap because I'm very nervous. If you've heard this song before, I'm sorry. I'm going to ruin it for you. Hi, little mama, have you heard about me? I'm a poppy like a bee, yeah, and a mommy. Hey, little mama, yeah, you heard about me? I'm a poppy like a bee, yeah, and a mommy. Hey, little mama, yeah, you heard about me? I'm a poppy like a bee, yeah, and a mommy. And now let me tell you why I hate that song. So, I used to like Diplo. Anybody heard of Diplo? Woo. Well, recently, Diplo made a song titled edamame, and edamame happens to be my favorite vegetable snack. And he just ruined the whole vegetable. Like, why did he have to use edamame just to rhyme with pea? Like, what are musical artists doing these days? I don't get it. So, I'm just very angry about that. But it was a good way to start. So now I'm going to get into my real stuff. So another thing that I'm angry about is that I didn't learn how to swim as a kid. Anybody else, maybe? And apparently, adults who don't know how to swim isn't really a thing that exists. Because I've been calling all these places that do swim classes, and they're like, ma'am, this class is only for kids. Never mind. So I also realized that my dad, hi Dad, shout out to my dad. Mom, we're coming later, don't worry. Also didn't learn how to swim as a kid. And during family get-togethers, he would often launch into swimming pools, and there would just be complete chaos. Like, Dad doesn't know how to swim. But thankfully, my brother married a former swim instructor. So Rachel, my sister-in-law, would just get up off her seat and be like, I'm going in, don't worry guys. And everybody would just go back to their phones or reading their book nonchalantly, it's fine, she's got him. So I'm gonna go on my swimming rant for a little bit longer, I'm sorry guys. Have you guys ever heard of the channel Adult Swim on Cartoon Network? So now that I identify as a non-swimming adult, I find the channel Adult Swim and just the whole term to be very condescending. Why are we stigmatizing adults who don't know how to swim? Why can't we just call it something else? What if I write an email like a total Karen to the Cartoon Network and I'm like, hey guys, can you please rebrand this channel to Adults Who Can't Adult Channel? Because there's a lot of other things that adults don't know how to do. It's not just swimming, okay? Parallel parking? And these ones are for my mom, going up and down escalators. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the elevators in every single airport. Moving walkways in airports, also a mom thing. A lot of people don't know how to use those. What else? Let's see, boiling an egg, maybe. I never learned how to do that. Being able to tie your shoelaces properly, with one loop instead of having to always do 2 bunny ears. Folding a fitted sheet. I know that's not quite as critical as swimming, but hey, it's good. It's good to have a good house and well-kept house, right? I still don't know how to fold a fitted sheet. But anyways, going back to my swimming problem. I realized that I couldn't just find any old swim instructor. I needed to find a swimming guru. So where else would I find one but a yoga retreat? Anybody else went on a yoga retreat at all recently? Ever? All right, so I went on my first yoga retreat a few months ago, and no offense to any yogis in the room, namaste to you all. But I grew up in a town that was 99% white, and I walked into that room, and I had never seen so many skinny white women in the same room, and I was like, did they invite me as a token diversity? I'm the only brown girl here, and my mom was with me, thank God. We were the only brown women there. And I was just like, where's the brochure? Where's the photographer for the brochure? Because I'm definitely going to be in the brochure, front and center. I better be in that brochure. But anyways, I don't remember what else I was going to say about yoga retreats. There was something else that was funny. But, oh yes, I remember, Michael Jackson. I have a lot to do with yoga retreats, Michael Jackson. All right, so if Michael Jackson were in that room, he would definitely want to be white, right? Right? Has he changed his skin color? Good. All right, never mind. Maybe I should have forgotten that one. But yeah, so I had what I call Michael Jackson moment, and nobody understands that reference except for me because I kind of use that a lot. Yeah, what else? So yeah, I liked the yoga retreat so much that I signed up for another one, and I'm going to my next yoga retreat in sunny Costa Rica next week. And that's going to be one beautiful for sure. All right. So another thing that adults also aren't good at, and going back to the Adults Who Can't Adult channel, how about relationships, guys? Anybody fail at relationships or just kind of suck at them? Well, I failed at a lot of relationships in my 20s, let me tell you. There was a lot of them. And I was talking to a friend the other day about maybe fostering dogs this year, and you would think that those two topics are unrelated, but let me tie them together for you guys like I tried to do with prior jokes. So I feel like a lot of relationships in my 20s were kind of like fostering dogs, because I always chose kind of like the ones with a lot of issues, like the guys with a lot of issues. Nobody else really wanted them. Let's just be honest, nobody wanted them. They were full of red flags, but for me, I was just like, hi, will you be my boyfriend? And, you know, I always, like, picked the really aggressive ones. You know, they would just be, like, getting into fights, like, at bars, everywhere. They would just be picking fights everywhere. And I really wish that, the concept of, like, retractable leashes was like socially acceptable for boyfriends, specifically. Like, I'm sure you could use a leash on your boyfriend, like, at home, but like out in public, because, one time my boyfriend like beat up his roommate in front of me, and I had to call the cops, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had a retractable leash right now for you. You imbecile. Yeah, and then there's a lot of other things. I mean, I feel like dogs would be a lot better, actually, in a lot of ways, because at least they can't talk back to you like a boyfriend would. Yeah, and then, kind of with, like, foster dogs, a lot of them are kind of, like, abused and a little bit, like, reluctant to trust you, and you kind of have to, like, show them a lot of affection. So with my boyfriends in my 20s, I wanted to kind of, like, have them trust me. They had a lot of trust issues, so I was like, you can sleep in the bed with me, but kind of at the bottom, like near my feet. But the problem with that was that, guys get really horny. And, my parents are here, so I don't have sex. I've never had sex. Almost going to be a 40-year-old virgin soon. A couple more years to go. So, yeah, so I wish that I could have brought them to the doctor and got them fixed, and I tried to, but apparently you can't do that without their consent. Yeah, so that was basically my failed relationships in my 20s. And another thing that adults often fail at is dating, because naturally that comes before relationships, and people also suck at that. Not saying I suck at it, but I have dabbled in dating a little bit the last few years. That's an understatement. I've done a shitload of dating, guys. A shitload. You don't want to know. It sucks. I've stopped now. I'm done with it. But my biggest deal breaker in dating right now is pretty unique. I'm pretty sure nobody else has one like this. But if a guy owns more than one pet snake, that's a deal breaker. And if he tries to tell you there's only one, he's lying. There's always more than one snake. So anyways, and that guy liked Diplo too. He liked that edamame song, so he sucked. So anyways, I'm still single, but at least I'm still alive, guys. Thank you, Boston.